Welcome back to the Butterfly Season podcast, guys. I am back with a microdose of an episode, short, quick, sweet, to the point. Today, I want to talk about, is it their fault or do you struggle with self-worth? And while the Butterfly Season podcast isn't like a business podcast, I am an entrepreneur and there is some business stuff in here because that's just what I'm going through. But also, I am a firm believer, and if you've been a listener of my podcast, you know this by now, but I am a firm believer that there is a direct correlation with success and your self-worth. And so today I'm talking about whether or not it's their fault or do you struggle with self-worth. The reason why I bring this up is because there was a time when I was running my company and I would feel like it's their fault. They're like this. And, they always like compromise on boundaries, or they always or expect me to compromise on boundaries. They're always overstepping the line. They never like value my work. And there's just like resentment, bitterness, all of the things. But when I started to dig into my own self-worth, I realized that it was my self-worth that was lacking and putting me in these situations for me to perceive that people were treating me this way, but it was really my own actions. When you struggle with self-worth, you compromise on your boundaries all the time. You're probably saying yes to everything and people pleasing because you might feel like there's a direct correlation with your worth to the work that you're doing. And so you're going to continue to work because you think it's making monetary deposits in your piggy bank of self-worth. It's not. So if you feel like you find yourself in these situations, I'm going to give you some questions to ask yourself. It might not be their fault and it might be a self-worth issue. Okay. So the first question is, do you often compare yourself to others and feel like you fall short? Are you overly critical of yourself, focusing only on your flaws and mistakes? Do you feel like you need to prove yourself to others in order to be accepted? Are you afraid of failure or rejection, which we all are, right? But is it because you worry that it'll confirm your negative self-image? Do you have trouble accepting apologies, positive feedback from others, which might look like, people in the comments are like, oh my God, this or that. And you're like, no, you girl. Or no, I'm just learning from you. Like, here's your permission slip. I'm signing it right now, giving it to you. Okay. Just receive. A thank you suffices. Practice that. Okay. Do you tend to push the needs of others ahead of your own, even when it's to your own detriment? I'm so guilty of that. And sometimes putting boundaries together can be really hard. But what I realized over time, I respect people so much more when they can put a boundary because I know that they're going to handle whatever I have going on, whether it's business, friendship, or otherwise, with so much care because they've already carved out the appropriate time for that, even if that time means not right now. Okay. Another question is, do you have trouble identifying your own wants, needs, and values? Do you see people posting things online and you can adopt those values, but because it's someone you admire, but you're not quite sure if it's your own? Do you struggle with making decisions or taking action because you worry about that you might be making the wrong choice? Like, these are just a few questions to ask yourself. And they come up because you struggle with valuing yourself, and it can be difficult, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. And the way we remove those shackles from us is shining a light on the areas that need working, even if we're embarrassed of those areas. And so you guys know this podcast is like my own diary. And as I go through things, I bring you guys along so we can go through them together to get out of cocoon season and live life fully in the butterfly season. And I bring this up. These are hard questions to ask, but it's because I struggled with them too. So know that it gets better. Know that the self-work is totally worth it. And you got this. Okay. If you found value in this episode, share it, tag me. I would love to repost it. The more people that can hear these messages, the quicker we can collapse time for others to get out of a cocoon season and into butterfly season. So I appreciate you so much for sharing it. I see all of the tags. I love them so much. It's literally my favorite thing to chat with you guys online about butterfly season. So keep it up. Until next time.